Alright. I told you I'd be back. It just took me a little longer than I anticipated because I had to get Twitch resynced. It wouldn't let me change the title. It's like, no, you must keep saying Takara's Tales at an End Part 2. Like, come on now. Quit being a pain in my ass. So here we are. This is the game that I chose to play while we get our solo votes in for the night. Because we still got we got an hour and a half of broadcast time left. Which works out pretty well because, this game is one of my favorites. I know you guys probably have never heard of it, and I know some of you probably won't be impressed with it. But that's fine. I don't expect it to be a fucking head turner. This is a remastered game from the Xbox 360. As you can see, the graphics are not the greatest, but everything else got overhauled. The physics are better, the performance is better, it actually has reasonable frames per second this time around. It's still kind of lackluster, but it gets the job done. And it is the best off-road simulation racer game that I've ever played. Even with its kind of crazy arcadey physics that sometimes kick in. It has a very unique behavior. The other good thing about it is the design of the terrain. Now, there's a lot of games out there that have very highly varied terrains, but none of them ever feel like they're ripping you apart or drawing you around or beating the shit out of you. This game, it does. The suspension physics are unreal. As you can see, we got multiple modes. We got Circuit, Rally, Hill Climb, Open Class, which is a really unique race, the Baja, which will take us hours to finish, and of course, Free Ride. There's a bunch of things to discover in Free Ride mode, but we're not really into that unless you want to hop on the multiplayer, which we probably won't do tonight. For now, we're going to start with a rally race just to get warmed up. There's a good selection of races to choose from, as I'm about to go through all of them right now. Every stage has 3 rally tracks. And what ends up happening when you do the Baja, unfortunately, it's not a true Baja 1000. You go through all the longest rally stages of each locale, which is great. And you can do it with up to 8 people. Well, 7, including myself. So it would be me plus 7 others. So 8, which is pretty neat. And I think some of the other race modes you can actually go up to 16 people. We'll do the Painted Desert Rally. You got a decent selection of vehicles. You have your Baja Bugs, which are your basic babies that just, super modified Baja, or super modified Volkswagen Beetles. You got your Unlimited, which have no restrictions in anything except it must have a stock engine. It must be a Volkswagen engine. But you can go nuts with everything else. 4x4s are the only all-wheel drive class in all of Baja. Open wheels are where you really start to experience the crazy off-road performance. Most of you guys are familiar with the trophy truck or the stadium truck or any of that stuff, but this is kind of what started it all. These little open-wheel buggies are monsters in terms of off-road capabilities. They're not very fast, they're not very powerful, but they'll make you regret your decision if you don't drive them right. And then you get into the mini trucks, which are trucks like the Chevy S10, the Ford Ranger, Toyota Tacoma, that kind of things, which have incredible suspension travel. It's super cool watching these things go over the terrain. Full-size truck, the name kind of says it all. It's your F-150, 250, Silverados, Tacomas, that kind of stuff. Just big trucks. And then you get into the only things that really compete with Baja trophy trucks. These guys have huge amounts of horsepower and huge RPMs, and they just got incredible performance. The only thing that's more powerful than them or more unique to drive is the trophy truck. You get Jesse James' trophy truck too, which is pretty cool, from Monster Garage. And then, if you beat the campaign or the career mode, you unlock these little fuckers, which are just a lot of fun to drive, but they are not rally stage friendly. So while we get you guys in here and we wait for everybody to show up and we get your votes, we're gonna knock out a rally stage. I've already gone through the career once. I know the game just came out, which is embarrassing. So I already have most of my vehicles. I don't have my trophy truck right now, which sucks. But I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. And this is where you can change everything. You can set it up to be ranked, where your name will get put on the leaderboards. Simulation, arcade, physics. Always go arcade. Or always go simulation. Go arcade if you're playing like with your little brother or something like that, because the physics can get kind of crazy in this game. They're not perfect, but they're not terrible. You can run the rally in 2 different stages. If you run it in staged, every time you finish a zone, your vehicle will get a full repair, and you start with a fresh car. Non-stop is more like the real thing. You don't really stop. You get a few minutes. Well, in reality, in a real rally stage, what you'd do is the non-stop rally. You'd race. If you had an accident or you need something repaired, you need to feel like that, you'd stop at a side pit real quick and get repaired. You don't get that here. You just call a helicopter, which is fucking weird. Difficulty, I always put it on 80 because I don't, when I'm playing just for shits and giggles, I don't want a challenge. You can change it to have any class you want. Since we were in a Baja Bug, keep it in competitive classes and we won't be racing no fucking trophy trucks. But, being a rally, I'd rather race all types of vehicles. Full damage, because you know me, I can't do it the easy way. All trees, kilometers an hour, single race, time trial. Those kinds are kind of self-explanatory. If you run it as a time trial, it's basically a pre-run. If you aren't familiar with what pre-running is, it's when you take whatever vehicle you want. You're not actually racing for any kind of times or anything like that. You're just getting a feel for the track. We don't want that. I don't need a pre-run. You got multiple camera views. This is one of the few games where me driving in first-person perspective isn't a big hassle. It's only temporary, though. Certain stages will really fuck with me, but most of the stages are so open you don't have to worry about it. Although that happens, that's a visual glitch that can't be fixed. So we'll stay in third person here for now. As you can see, it's got pretty accurate engine noises. This is a little Volkswagen 1600cc. Oops. I just want you to take a moment and admire the suspension. If there's one thing that THQ and 2XL have always done incredibly well, it's suspension animation. I love how the trophy trucks are just beating my ass up. Pull off to the side here and let everybody else get around me. Shifting is done with the right joystick in a sequential pattern. But playing as a Volkswagen Baja Bug, you don't really have to shift much. Pretty much your first and second gears are useless. The only ones you need to worry about are third, fourth, and fifth. All's first and second or fourth when you come to a stop. It's really annoying. The X is your horn. You honk that at your rivals that you're racing against, and sometimes you get out of the way. A is your handbrake. Left bumper is your clutch, which doesn't really have any other purpose but to act as an engine boost. If you've been around when I played Forza Horizon 3 with buddies, you'll hear them yell, "Clutch kick!" And that's basically holding in the clutch, building up the RPMs, and then letting go of the clutch, and letting it spool back up to speed and propels you forward somehow. It sounds kind of like popping the clutch, but it's not popping the clutch. It's really weird. As you can see, I'm sliding and swaying all over the place. My little buggy's rebounding and jerking. I'm making thousands of minuscule adjustments in the throttle and steering input. It really makes you think about it. Man, I wish the fucking camera wasn't fucked up. Oh, wait, it's fixed. No, it's not. Why is that bar in my face? you look to the right above the speedometer, you can see those gauges. All those gauges represent vehicle health. Top one being your engine heat and oil pressure, tires and brakes. It's a second, and then your shocks and your clutch. So all those things need to be monitored. And every time you take a big bump or anything like that, you'll see that occasionally things change. The engine constantly heats up. If you know anything about cars, you know the more you run the engine, the hotter it gets. The oil pan is what they focused on, which I thought was quite impressive. You hear how I'm bottoming out? Listen. You hear the suspension compress, and then you hear the thud. That's the bottom of the buggy cracking into the ground. Each time that happens, the oil pan loses its strength. Is basically how the game explains it, which is pretty accurate. What would happen in the real world, it's just not that dramatic. The oil pans usually take a shit ton more for people. But that translates to oil pressure, which then translates to loss of horsepower and compression, blah blah blah, mechanic stuff. And most of you probably don't give a shit about it. And as you can see, my tires, they're wearing. Every time you go over a series of bumps or make a sharp turn or start to slide, the tire wear increases. The more worn your tires, the more likely you are to have a blowout. Of course, you have a blowout, it's not fun. You also lose traction, and you'll see me start making more and more corrections as it goes on. But for now, we're doing pretty good. Baja bugs are sturdy little bastards. Third, what I'd be interested in if I would ever get into Baja racing is I'd want to start with a Baja bug and then move on to the 4x4 bugs, because the 4x4 is much better than the Volkswagens. Oh shit. He's not paying attention. That bar really fucks with you. I think that's another Baja bug, I'm not sure. I don't like that. I like that view, but that fucking bar is in the way, which is so weird. It wasn't there before. It's frustrating. Because I want to give you guys the authentic feel. Because it's one of the few games I can get away with it without getting sick. Tires are pretty much shot.
Hey, we need some racists.
What? We need some racists? That didn't make any sense. I think something got lost in translation there. I'm gonna laugh if I'm doing this right before the finish line. I do that all the time. When I think my vehicle needs repairs, I'll get ready to do the repairs, and the finish line's like less than a minute ahead. So you press the Y button to call the chopper, you come to a complete stop, and as you can see, my gauges go back to normal. Pretty groovy, huh? Use the clutch when you're climbing for maximum efficiency. One of the things you'll notice about this game is you actually don't use the brakes all that often. More than anything, you spend your time hitting the handbrake. You tap the handbrake to slide around the corner, or tap the handbrake when you want to slow down a bit. Because if you use the real, full brakes, it just like dead stops the vehicle. And you have to reshift and get everything back up to, it's just a pain in the ass. Which is great. That's how brakes are supposed to work, but it's just like, if I tap the brakes when I'm coming around the corner and I don't slide, but I tap the handbrake and I let go and slide and I can actually pull it off, then yeah, I'm going to do that. Oops. Nice little rollover. That's pretty exciting. And as you take more damage, your vehicle will start behaving funny. You'll start rebounding poorly. Eventually, your engine will start cutting out if you have really high oil pressure damage. And if the engine starts overheating, you'll blow a hose. You'll just be shooting steam everywhere. Which, as I'm sure you know, is not very efficient. Damn it doesn't work, man. It's so frustrating. A couple of the other classes' vehicles do the exact same thing. It's a visual glitch. Ooh, save it. Ooh, I couldn't brake. And that's another thing, as you can see, I missed that corner big time. Went way wide. You don't get penalized for it. But if you purposely cut corners or you stay off the track too long, then the game's like, hey man, get back on track. And it'll reset you after a couple of seconds. Which just prevents people from kind of doing whatever the fuck they want. Look at that suspension work, man. So cool. Honk at my little Volkswagen buddy there and let him know I'm coming by. The cool things about Rally is you're not actually competing against the other vehicles. That's why you can put it on all classes and you'll get passed by trophy trucks and mini trucks and shit, but don't worry about it. You ain't worried about them, you're worried about the most consistent time. The more consistent you are through each zone, the better your time. So getting passed by all that other heavy artillery doesn't mean a damn thing. It just looks cool. Whoa! Whoa! See, look at that. Look at that mini truck. Oh shit! He's pushing his way through. He wasn't honking either. I didn't know he was there. As you can see, the bottom left, you get the the GPS marker, which lets you know there's people behind you, but it doesn't tell you what class of vehicle they are. But usually by the speed that they're moving, you can tell what class of vehicle it is. Obviously, the fastest ones being Class 1 Unlimiteds and Baja Trophy trucks. But all the vehicles can be pretty quick. I think the slowest vehicle in the game is actually the 4x4 class, but you can fine-tune and tweak the transmissions and stuff to make them however you want. Like, my Chevy Blazer, which is the 4x4 class vehicle I chose for the rear mode, goes 122 miles an hour, which doesn't seem that fast, but for a 4x4 off-roader, that's like the max you want to push it. going faster than that, you run the risk of pretty much blowing yourself apart. Just ask Rod Hall. Rod Hall had been running Team Hummer for years, and he'd always get, good old H1 Alpha, beef it up, tune out the engine, give it a little bit extra suspension travel, and go to town. But he'll tell you that the 4x4 class is extremely dangerous because the power those guys are putting out isn't horsepower, it's torque. And you know what torque is. Torque means strength. And sometimes the strength will just rip shit apart. And then you're left without a race vehicle. The one thing that I do wish that this game had, more than anything else, besides the lack of Chrysler products, which makes me mad, by the way, there aren't any Chryslers in this game at all, is a co-pilot. Whoops! We don't have a co-pilot. Which I think is really weird. Why is my orange light on? Interesting. Oh. Occasionally, the game will suffer a little bit of a visual glitch because it is a remaster. It is not perfect. Sometimes the screen will look like it's shaking, and other times you'll get scan lines, which are these almost invisible bars that are constantly waving across the screen. They're going in pulses just to make sure the frame rate stays optimized and all that stuff. So don't think anything's wrong with your monitor or your screen or whatever the hell you're watching me on. That's normal. I forgot to let off the throttle there. That could have been bad. Ooh! Fucking trophy truck. So yeah, it's a good game, time consuming, fun to play. It doesn't appear to have any kind of community going for it yet, but that could change, because it is still rather new. Even though it's a remaster, it might just be getting rediscovered. And the followers of it, way back when, who originally had it on the 360, might not have upgraded to the Xbone yet. Or, they have upgraded and they got a computer or some shit, who knows. As you've seen right there, the buggy kind of clipped into that truck. I don't know why they didn't try and fix that, because that was one of my biggest complaints. But, that's like one of the only major negatives. Besides the graphics still not being all that good, I like them. They're decent. But I have a feeling they could have done better. There's our finish. Absolutely owned it. Look at that. Second place, Gary Messer, 28 minutes, 52 seconds. So yeah, pretty easy. Pretty basic. In career mode, you don't have a choice. You get the simulation physics and you have to buy and build up your vehicles as you go. As I said, I've already gone through the career once. Go to garage here. Whoa! A little bit of a glitch. These are all the vehicles I currently own, with custom upgrades and tuning. As you can see, they have a list of, I guess, characteristics. That's my Blazer. It's my favorite vehicle in the game. And they are real life sponsors in this game. Those are real companies. It's pretty crazy. That one should make some of you happy. And not just because it's an F-250 and I'm using it. It's because of that paint job. It's Dragon's Lair, which is an old point-and-click arcade game. You can find it fucking everywhere, man. Everywhere in the history of video games. So it's pretty nice little throwback. There's another vehicle. It's in the open wheel category. It's called the Fortin buggy, and Doug Fortin created it. It has a paint job for Space Ace, which is another game that's just like Dragon's Lair. Right now, I'm saving up to buy a new Class 1 Unlimited. This bad boy. I'm very partial to Cheneth. Cheneth makes some of the coolest and most efficient off-road buggies in existence. But as you can see, there's plenty to choose from. They all have the same characteristics, which I find irritating. But they all have unique features. But you look at the Cheneth and you click on it, you can go through all the different paint jobs it has. Very limited, which sucks. And once you pick your vehicle, you come here, you go to upgrades. And you got a very simple upgrade system. Engine, okay? Bam. Go down. Simple as that. Everything has quite a significant price as you get into the higher classes. When you're first starting out, it doesn't cost shit. And you can usually max out your first car within the first 4 or 5 championships. If you're good. If you're not good, then it might take you a little bit longer. And then you go to the tuning area, and you can sit here and you can tweak and play and mess around with your vehicle however you want. This is my biggest issue that I'm having with, because the transmission doesn't really make sense here. Like, I use a manual transmission. Why the fuck should I have to set a shift point? I should be able to put a shift point whenever I fucking want to. You know? Oops. You come here, you can choose your gear ratio, brake output, springs, and all those things can be modified however you want to modify them per your driving style. Everybody's different. Right now, I have already made it into the full-size truck championships. We're going to do an invitational to get some extra cash. Invitationals are just fun offside races that are usually pretty challenging. Some aren't. This one I only got a silver medal on. It's a Grand Bridge Pass circuit race. 9 vehicles, rewards 15,000 credits. Credits obviously being your cash. But because my truck is sponsored by AEM, I'll get extra credits out of it. So the 15,000 might become 20,000. I think my sponsors actually pay me almost 20,000 if I finish with their panels on, which I think is a pretty cool little feature. If you're sponsored, if you lose your body panels, you don't get paid. But if you miss only, like, let's say I lose a right rear fender or something like that and a door, I'll get paid less. But I won't be completely cut off for payment. Oops. These races are violent. The AI don't really give a fuck about their well-being. As you can plainly see as that guy goes rolling off the track. Listen to that engine. That's a big V8. Oh shit. that's a hot one to ride. So if you take too much damage and people repair it quickly, don't call a helicopter, so you get basics. Just pull it really quick. But one of the cool things about the full-size truck is the full-size trucks are incredibly strong engine and transmission-wise, where they suffer the suspension. The suspension's pretty piss poor. Ah! Because of that, they suffer handling problems, and they take serious oil damage. The oil pressure will drop on these things so severely, so quickly, especially on rough races. I'm not going to be able to do this, not with this truck. And that's another good thing about this game, is it'll kind of get you an idea of what your vehicles are going to do. This big guy cannot do circuits for the life of me, especially really tight small circuits, and I've tweaked and tuned it and modified it and fucked with it so many different ways, and I still can't get it right. So we're going to go to something a little more controllable. The open wheel buggy. I'll hit the same race again, and you'll see the difference of how it handles. And I know I already have a silver medal in this race, but I can't settle for anything less than the gold. This is another one of the vehicles that in first-person view, you get a bar that blocks your screen, which sucks. Whoa! Got 2 wheels. I was scared. Did you see the difference in handling? Way more planted, way more secure. Of course, we don't have as much horsepower, which is a factor, but the suspension on these little guys is just far superior to the full-size truck. The fun thing about these things, these open wheel buggies, love to stay wound up at high RPM. So you can sit there and rev the nuts off it and be just fine with it. Oh shit. As you can see right now, I've pretty much stayed in 5th gear the entire time. Haven't needed to shift at all. This one I'll leave the downshift. Can't get an angle on them. Ooh! They bumped into each other. Gives me an opening. Come on! Yes! use it a lot in the open wheel buggy because the open wheel buggies like to slide if you don't keep them under control. So they tap the clutch every now and then on tight corners to just pop it back into a straight line. And that happens a lot more than you'd think. So I end up burning out the clutch pretty quick. So this is our league. We're going to be racing Tarantula Gulch, Beaver Creek, La Muerte, Crazy Horse, and the Gold Canyon. All spectacular circuit races in their own. My biggest threat, and the one that I'm going to have the most problems with, is on the Mogollon Rim and Lake Powell. Those have some of the roughest terrains in any of the game. And the full-size truck, as I said, it suffers terribly from poor suspension. Like, it's really bad. You'll see it fall apart before you know it. Now, Tarantula Gulch is unfortunately one of those tracks I can't race in first person. There's a lot of details on the outside. And there's a drop-off that kind of sneaks up on you. That was a terrible takeoff. That's the drop-off right there. In first person, you'll never expect it unless you know the track. And I know the track, but it doesn't make it any less nauseating. Ooh, shit. I'm gonna push my way in there. Bully it out. Bully it out. Come on. Woo, we're rocking. A little bit of the tabletop there. Nice little jump. Ooh. That's a rough jump, man. Ooh, save it. That was close. See how my oil pans, or oil pressure, is already near 50% depleted? It's because of the suspension buildups on this truck. You stiffen it up too much, it becomes undrivable. You make it too soft, and it's like a fucking sponge. I have it set up to where it's the most durable that I could make it. And we've only done 2 laps on this slightly rough track. Trust me, this is nothing compared to Lake Powell and Mogollon. It just looks rough. shit. Ouch. That almost blew the suspension. Not cool. We'll tough it out for one more lap, see what happens. Well, that's all we gotta do. That Muggle rim, I'll probably have to pull into a pit. But you can usually push your vehicles pretty far before they just become undrivable. My engine's gonna start cutting out soon. And then you hear this really funny noise. I'll let you guys keep an ear out for it, but I'll let you know when it happens. Did you hear it? Something went crack. That is the oil pan getting punctured. And if I look behind me right now, I'll have a black trail of smoke. Can you see it? That means your engine's about to overheat too, usually. But we'll just keep pushing it so I can show you what the damage is like. See how the truck's rebounding and wobbling even harder than it was before? If I wasn't worried about getting past, I'd show you what it's like when it sits still. It's fucking hilarious. After you seize momentum, it just wriggles and rocks all over the place. And just steams in its own cloud of misery. You got a good look at the undercarriage there, I hope. These vehicles use a combination that's been used for years. Leaf springs and shock absorbers in the rear. In the front, it has your traditional McPherson, well, not McPherson. Most of these trucks actually have a quad shock up front. You'll have two reservoirs and then two suspension chambers that taper down into one big fucking spring coilover. It's pretty cool. We have enough to buy our Class 1 buggy, so we're going to do that real quick. One of the best things about the game is you can leave your league and not get disqualified from it. Come right here. Class 1 Unlimited. 359,530 credits. I have 376. And we're going to go with this nice blue paint job for now. You can change the paint jobs at any time. It doesn't cost you a thing. But usually when I get one, I stick with it. So now that we have it, I can come in here and I can show you what the upgrades look like, because they are not cheap. As you can see, the engine is almost maxed on these bad boys, so their strength and horsepower output's just phenomenal. Ah, shit, I can't do anything with it, so never mind. I'll have to show you guys later when I'm done with this racing rig, which we should be able to take care of. It shouldn't take long. So Mogollon Rim has some of the roughest terrain next to Lake Powell. Oh, you see the coilovers and the crossbar right there in the front of that truck? That's the full-size setup. That's pretty much standard for all of them. And you see the coilovers They reach down real far, and then you have your reservoir hiding way up top. Got a good little shot of it right there. The truck in front of me is a Ford F-100. Well, give that guy a hello. Oh, alright. I guess we can go this way. Didn't know that. See how rough this terrain is? It's insane. Keeping it pretty low gears for now. I think this is only 4-speed anyways. That's a nice clean chunk. So luckily Beaver Creek's a lot shorter than I thought it was. I thought this was a much longer race. We'll actually be able to go through this without getting the hot pit at all. How's that for a crazy turn, huh? I was turned just before we hit that jump. Groovy. Now I got damn near 50,000 credits to spend on that new Millennium buggy we just bought. But I'm going to keep going through the career because I can tell you right now that ain't going to be enough for shit. I might be able to get some weight reduction. That's about it. That's how expensive the parts are for the Class 1 Unlimiteds. Hell. The base trophy truck that I'm going to be buying is almost 600,000 credits. Buying all the upgrades and the parts that go with it to make it a better trophy truck is going to make it nearly $1 million, if not more. This is a great track for speed, which my purple truck loves. It's going fast. At least by Baja standards. I had to hit the brakes, I didn't know where the landing was. As with any real car, hit the brakes in the air kinda has a stabilization effect. This game took it a little too far, I think. When you hit the brakes and it locks everything up and tilts the car forward. Usually a feature that's more reserved to monster trucks. average family vehicle. Not the average family vehicle, but man, people drive one of these to work. Oh, that would be so cool. Oh, I'm gonna land on him. Woo, that was close. So this one, we're probably going to have to hit a hot bit just because of its length. We haven't even completed our first lap yet. We're 2 minutes in. And as you see, we took kind of a beating. Kind of. Fucking Greg Adler went along the pass. What an asshole, Greg. Too fast. Oh shit. That's a hard landing. Quite a lot of damage. Oh shit! Sideswipe this. We hit the red line. Can't shift up any further, so it's only 4-speed. Bummer. We'll hit the hot bit this lap just to maintain. Ooh. Just to maintain maximum performance for the next 2 laps. Makes me so happy that I can play this game in first person without being sick. Oh fuck. Good one, James. Wasn't paying attention. I was not paying attention at all. How fast we're going. We're doing 120. I think this thing maxes out at like 142 miles an hour. That's the gear ratio I have set up on it, so it's pretty decent speed. We're gonna go left this time instead of going over the hill, which makes us go stupid fast. Just so you can get a different sight on the track. Oh no! Bounced right off the track. Nothing I could have done. thought so. We got a flat tire. I was wondering why we were pulling to the right. That's why we blew our rear tire. Now you can only do a quick tire repair like that if you have spare tires in the back. If you don't have spare tire, you don't get a repair. Otherwise, you have to limp your way to the pit or call the helicopter depending on the situation. If you use up all your spare tires and the helicopter won't respond to you or there's no hot pit to go to, you run flat, which is a huge hindrance. Look at the shit out of that truck. There's not a whole lot of these tracks in Baja that have these multiple splitting lines, but those that are usually designed for much faster and more powerful vehicles. You run these with some of the slower ones, and it's really sad. I can barely make it up the hills and then max out, hit the red limiter, and it's not pretty. Let's hit this center jump here for shits and giggles. Oh yeah! That was beautiful. In case you're wondering, that was me running the truck. It wasn't for me. I was trying to maintain a decent balance and get a good speed. I love spiking the revs like that. Pretty nuts, right? Here we go. See, my current sponsor credits. 14,942. If I complete a race with every panel. If I lose one or two panels, then it drops down to like 10,000 or something like that. And they're trying to offer me kicker car stereos, which is way less. Sorry about that. I unplugged my headset as I was adjusting. Wub, 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 wub. Wub. Whoa! That was a coffee. It was extremely rough and gruesome from the Swift online. Test. At least it's a short track, but damn, you're beating me up already. Oh shit! I almost slid right into that tree. Hey, we set a record lap time. Look at that. I'm surprised this truck's handling this race so well. Normally it doesn't handle this rough shit like that from Lake Powell. Pretty much any Lake Powell stage I do usually eats this full-size truck alive. So it's surprising that it's doing so solid right now. I haven't done all that much driving, I guess. Oh, shit. Let's stop in the pit for shits and giggles. Oop. Yeah, I broke all the Baja tires. Oopsies. BF Goodrich Baja T8, also known as the Baja Claw. Very powerful, very grippy, absolutely superior wear and tear defense. Bleh, excuse me. I figured the game was going to tell me I was pushing it. Just wanted to see how far I would let it go. Ooh, save it. That was a bad bounce. Ooh, right the corner, yeah. That was cool. Wow, the race went a hell of a lot smoother than I anticipated. Want to know something funny? The suspension upgrade for my full-size trophy truck costs more than one of the starting unlimited Baja Beetles, which is the second class of off-roader. It's fucking crazy. The suspension for my truck costs more than a fucking Baja Beetle. But it's still inferior to the Baja Beetle suspension, which is really sad. Let's stick the third person for this one too. It's got a lot of shit on the outskirts. I don't know. That was skip. That jump's coming these times real. Oh, hands almost 2 fucking lap. Oh. That will happen. I'll tell you losing places. Yeah. Dude. Got shit. He ran over a bird. Roadrunner. Unfortunately, no. You know, a lot of these games will have a mode option where you sequence a button, special camera. I'd like to look at the critters in the stage. On all the stages. I'm pretty sure the majority of ones you come across are roadrunners and warthogs. But I'm sure there's probably some others thrown in there that you just don't see. Unless you're in a free ride and you're just kind of cruising around looking for them. Ah. My face itches, sorry. I need to shave, but I've been saving it to do it the day before the concert. Oh shit, that's right. I have to let you guys know again. I know I've probably sound like a broken record by now. I will not be here Friday and Saturday. Friday is my concert. And Friday I'm going to be gone most of the day. Or Saturday I'm going to be gone most of the day, so I probably won't get home until way later. And I'm not taking my Xbox to the hotel. It's not happening. I have to get repaired this lap. Oh man, it's about to break again. Who knew that this track would beat the shit out of my truck more than the other ones that I thought would beat the shit out of my truck? There it goes. That truck's fucking broken. The yellow one's broken down as well. Interesting. Oh, we're gonna hit that rock. Oh, no, we're not. Oh. That was sketchy. God, I'm over 70, 80 seconds away from second place. It's absurd. I can take my fucking time. I don't even have to push my truck. I'm that far fucking ahead. We'll lock the trigger so we aren't going full throttle the whole time. They're all just fucking sitting there. What the shit? Oh, it's funny. One of the warnings this game gives you is don't hold the throttle wide open until you master the art of Baja steering. Which I think is hilarious. The only way to learn what the limits of your vehicles are to push it to the ragged fucking edge. It just gets a chuckle out of me because it's just kind of like, really? Really? Well, there you go. That is our league. 161,000 credits richer after we just dumped 380,000. New sponsor, FabTech. I already got FabTech sponsorship on my mini truck. I'm good. So let's go to the garage here and check out our Cheneth Millennium. Let's see what upgrades we can get. I always start from the bottom because the bottom is usually the cheapest. $24,000 for fucking flex hose. Fucking flex hose. For the oil and intercooler. 24,000. Almost 25,000. Whoops. I do that one a lot. I accidentally buy both of them in the same category, and I don't mean to do that. A large cooler with an electric fan. 15,000. Hit the B button. Hit the B button. Weight and arrow. Weight reduction. 16,000. Drag reduction. 30,000 roughly. See where this is going? You ready for this? 32,000 credits. Ouch. The tires are almost the same price as this fucking suspension. So we'll move up. Clutch and converters all the way down to the ultimate clutch. 21,000. Powertrain. 63,000. 63. And we didn't even get to look at all these. How insane is that, man? It just gives you an idea for how expensive these vehicles in real life actually are. It's fucking crazy. Cool, huh? It's got the same gear ratio as my trophy truck, which means it'll max out at just under 140 miles an hour. It's pretty good. Oh, I can't change the transmission yet because I don't have it. But I do have brakes. Let's increase the handbrake output a little bit. And brake bias towards the front. Ooh. These adjustments are very touchy. It's not good. So we'll have to wait till we can upgrade our suspension before we tweak with those. So for now, it's probably going to be super soft and a little unstable. Let's give it a dry run. Looks good. Whoa, that's a glitch and a half. Well, looks like we won't be able to drive in first person with this fucker. That sucks. Oh yeah, look at how soft it is. Jeez. So Cheneth isn't, like, they don't just make off-road buggies for Baja. Cheneth has been making off-road vehicles for the military for generations. One of my favorite Cheneth vehicles is called the Cheneth DR2, and it is a civilianized, fast attack vehicle. You know, kind of like how the H1 is a demilitarized service, transport, do-it-everything kind of vehicle. The DR2 was designed for hit-and-run tactics, smuggling shit, that kind of stuff. It's beautiful. But they did make some specialty Baja vehicles. The Cheneth Magnum was the predecessor to the Cheneth Millennium. And they also make a Cheneth Super Buggy type deal. It's about the size of the Baja Bug 1600cc buggy that I was driving earlier in the game. But it has a much more powerful engine and suspension setup. So it's kind of like, I think it's... I can't remember what class it's in, but it's got its own class for open wheel, unlimited buggies. But as you can see, this thing's really fast, handles really well, but the suspension's a bit squishy, so we'll have to change that. Look at that. Look at that suspension work. It's so fucking cool. As you can see, the tires are a huge factor too, because we are sliding all over the place. Just doesn't look like it. Fucking sweet spot. Well, I guess it's about that time. It is 2:30 in the morning, which is when I say goodnight. I will keep the votes going. I'll be asking every day that I'm here for votes for this weekend. Specifically Sunday. Because I'm almost 100% positive I'm not going to make it home in time to broadcast on Saturday. Ah! So thank you guys for watching, and like I said earlier, I hope you enjoyed my playthrough of Far Cry Primal, and I hope you enjoyed getting a little preview of what this amazing off-road game is like. So thank you all for watching, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow evening. Till next time, have a good one.